Hi everyone, so I thought I'd create a very dramatic purple smoky eye using some Sugarpill cosmetics. I'm using the Chromalust in Paperdoll, which is just a really lovely, brilliant lavender with purple pearl and then a little bit of Poison Plum as well, and a couple other shades from MAC, but you can get those colors in any brand, does not have to be MAC, and just some fun purple lips. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial, and thanks for watching. So I've already taken Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden and put it all over my lids, up to my brow bone, and even under my eyes. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On Shadow Pencil, and this is in Midnight Cowboy. And we're just going to go ahead and place that pencil all over the lid and a little into the tear duct. It's fairly creamy, so I suggest just kind of dabbing it on and then patting it down. Any more than that and you'll get too much creasing. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, and we're going to put this all the way under the arch of the brow bone just for a bright white highlight. I'm just going to pat that down as well. This is just going to give us a really pretty highlight when all the workmanship on the eyes are done. I'm going to be taking a little bit of Sugarpill Loose Eyeshadow, and this is in Paperdoll. It's just a really pretty purple with kind of a purpley pearl. So I really hope that you can see that. If not, I'll just hold up this lid real quick. Like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my Sonia Kashuk paddle brush and a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. You could take water or Visine. It does not have to be this. I'm just going to pat that into the brush, and then I'm going to take the liquid and we're going to pat that on top. Ooh, I almost spilled an entire jar of Paperdoll. And we're going to pat that on top of the pencil. You don't have to use it wet. We're just doing this to sort of build up a color intensity and pop out that pearl. So that part isn't necessary. I personally just think it makes loose shadows stick a little bit better, makes them look a little prettier. Especially with pale pigments, like this one is a pale pigment. Pale but never chalky. Because it's got so much shimmer. So I'm just gonna shade that out using the chisel of the bamboo brush towards the socket of the eye, and we're gonna shade that out like so. So now that that's on, I'm going to be taking a little bit of Soft Brown by MAC and Cork by MAC, just two sort of medium shades of brown. You can take Buck or Naked from the Naked palette, and we're just going to go ahead, take this little blender brush. I'm going to dip into Soft Brown, Cork just back and forth, and we're going to blend out the crease. I like to do this with shimmery colors and bright colors because it just sort of allows them to gain a more professional and more blended, diffused outlook. And then I'm just going to start pulling that into the bridge of the nose. So it's going to make the eye appear really large. At the same time, you're kind of slenderizing your nose. I'm going to be taking a little bit of Poison Plum, which is a fairly okay version of a Makeup Forever number 92. This one has a little bit more of a red undertone, I'm going to be honest. And then we're just going to go ahead and pop that into the inner corner and shade it up like so. And then I'm going to go back to the outer corner, picking up a little bit more product than I was willing to place in the inner corner. because I want to keep the eye a little open when and if ever possible when doing any makeup look, to be honest. And we're just going to start circling that in the outer corner, doing little circular guys And then we're going to start pulling up a little bit more product into the outer corner with the same shadow. Then I'm just going to start flicking it in gently just to get that sort of like whisked look. I don't want it to look heavy, stripy. Nothing bugs me more than a striped orbital bone. And I've seen it in movies too. It's like, why is her orbital bone striped like that? What were they thinking? This is a big movie. So we're just going to keep on blending. I'm going to be taking a little bit of Sugarpill's Tako, which is just that matte white. And we're going to pat down the brow bone with that matte white. Just sort of blend it out so there's no line. Then I'm going to also pat a little into the tear duct right on top of the Midnight Cowboy pencil and blend that up. I'm going to be taking a bit of Shadowy Lady, which is just that sort of blackened eggplant color. I'm pretty sure Wet n Wild Less palette has a dupe of this, so you could also take a black and a purple and just tap into both of those colors until you have a black and purple. So I'm just going to go ahead and swish that into the outer corner real fast, just to sort of darken the look up a bit. I might be taking a little bit of MAC Feline Kohl Power. We're just going to line the inner rim of the eyes. And then I'm going to tightline. And then I'm just going to take a tad bit more Shadowy Lady. And we're going to go ahead and stick that into the inner rims of the eye very gently. You don't want to poke the inner rims of your eye with your brush, so just go as fast as you can possibly trust yourself. And a little bit of Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This is in Gunmetal. And we're just going to go ahead and take that and place it underneath the lower lash line. And this is a very easily dupeable color. I'm just going to go ahead and set that with a little bit of Satin Taupe by MAC. A really good dupe of this is the Inglot number 399. Also the Wet n Wild Nutty eyeshadow, and inside the Silent Treatment is sort of like a grayed purpley color, so any of those will do. I'm going to be taking a little bit of the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner, and we're just going to go ahead and do this sort of thin cat eye. We're just going to go ahead and start laying that in short little even strokes against the lash line. And then we're just going to pull it in as well. Now for the outer area, we're just going to follow our outer tear duct. And as you can see, I'm just sort of flicking it out. Now if you feel you've gone too far down or too far outside of your eyeshadow zone, you can always just take a little makeup remover wipe while you have on no foundation. You really don't want to do this look with foundation on first. You'll get purple and black smudges everywhere. So we're just gonna go ahead and clean up that baby. I just got through applying my Wet n Wild Mega Length mascara. So this is another vegan one. I was using the Mega Wink for a really long time and finally ran out. So just going to try a different one. So now I'm just going to pop on my Kiss lashes in number 7. These are super comfortable, easy to wear, fast to put on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and be right back. So now I've applied my Collection 2000 Light Illuminating Touch Light Diffusing Concealer in number 3 Glow. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pat that in with my Airbrush Synthetic Professional Airbrush brush. And this is in number 56. There's one that's slightly bigger, but I like the 56 for it's kind of like, I don't know, flat, fat sausage type shape. Because it gets into like your nose and your eye area pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue patting that down. And then apply like a little bit of powder immediately so there's no crease up work. So that kind of serves as a concealer in a way, but it also serves to sort of brighten up the under eyes so there's like no circles and no darkness. I'm going to be taking a little bit of Prism Blush, which is just this sort of browny pink, but when you place it on the face it kind of translates to pink. But any sort of nudie blush will do. I'm going to take the e.l.f. Matte Lip Color in Tea Rose. Which is just a neutral with a lavender tone. We're also going to take a little bit of MAC's Cunning, which was limited edition with Fabulous Felines Palace Pedigreed, but any sort of plummy color will do. And we're just going to take a bit of that. Nothing too dramatic. You can do a tone-on-tone look if you want, like a straight up purple lip and purple eye, but it'll be very, very dark and harsh. And a little bit of Too Faced Glamour Gloss in Peekaboo. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.